Okay, this is a replication of Aaron's water spark experiment. Just walk you through the circuitry. This is just a little 555 timer circuit that I've made that allows us to run this relay, and I'll just demonstrate this right now because it has a little it runs from this 12 volt supply. This is completely isolated, but I can turn it down to about 1 flash a second, or make it run the relay as fast as I want. And it's very simple, and we have the schematic. It'll be shown at the end. But it's a very, very simple circuit. The rest of the circuit is, we have I've got a Variac, which is a variable AC transformer that's just plugged into the wall. And I've got the output going through this 100 ohm resistor. And the rest of the output goes through this little full wave bridge diode, and then into the relay to charge this 47 microfarad photo flash cap. That's all we're going to discharge into this thing. And it's a complete isolation system so that the cap is only connected either to the source or to the coil when it's discharging, but it can never be connected to both. And this is never connected directly to the wall. I've got a Mallory ignition coil here, and the output from the capacitor comes in on these wires, as you can see, and is dropped directly across the low voltage section of the coil. I have our blocking diode here, which is on a little thing so I can disconnect it or connect it. And this is a 12,000 volt diode from a microwave oven power supply, and it can handle 30 amp pulses, but in general it doesn't like that all the time, but it's good for a reverse voltage up to 12,000 volts. And then the output is our spark plug over here. The low voltage comes back to the negative, which is the case. The output, this is a special wire that has 20,000 volt insulation. It's a little different than the others. Goes right to the top. And then, so we've got this thing in this little thing so you can see the spark. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start first of all I'm going to run this thing in 3 modes. One, standard mode, where we're just discharging the cap into the coil and running the spark. The second mode will be to include the diode in the circuit between the low voltage plus and the high voltage plus, and see the difference in the spark. And then the third aspect is we'll spray a little bit of water into the spark and show you the difference there. So those are the 3 modes that we'll run the thing in. Here's the cord for the Variac. So I'm going to plug that in right now. So now the Variac is hot. I can now turn on the relay. And believe it or not, there is a very itty bitty little spark in there. And you can barely see it. Okay? So that's the first part. And so I'm going to disconnect that. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the diode from the low voltage plus to the high voltage plus. Nothing else has changed. Now I'm going to start the relay again. Now you can see a very dramatic change in the way the spark plug sparks. And I can do a number of things to it. I can charge the cap to a little higher voltage, and it makes it a little bit more robust. Or I can fire it more often, and so on. So you can see how the circuit works. We're going to just leave it low like this. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little spray mister and squirt a little bit of water into the gap. And that shows what happens when this spark is I'm going to close this door. It's a fairly robust effect. We're using very little energy to do this. And as you can see, it just keeps burning the same water over and over. You don't have to spray this thing all the time. But now, just to show you, if I take the diode away, the effect goes completely away. Put it back in, there it is. So it's a fairly dramatic effect. It works exactly the way Gotoluc said, and the simplified circuit that Aaron published. And that's about all I can say about it. It does exactly what these guys have said. And as I published before in the thread, this is one of the most astonishing effects I've seen in many years. So let's get more people replicating this very simple circuit. We've got the complete circuit for the timer, the complete circuit for the rest of the circuit. Let's get more people studying this, because this seems important.